So a few nights ago, there was 2 nights back to back where I found some swarmer termites in my bathrooms. 2 of the bathrooms in the house, they were crawling around, and I got pretty nervous that we had an infestation. Was doing some research and found out that, especially in places like here on Oahu, that sometimes they come in through these bathroom vents. And what'll happen is they'll see the lights at night, and if the vent that goes out onto the roof, if there's some kind of defect in the damper or the cover, they'll come through and then they'll start falling through these grills. I ran it for a few nights in a row and haven't seen any termites since. So in this video, I'm going to be covering these grills with a mesh screen that still allows some airflow. That way I'm not going to burn out the fan behind it, but then it'll prevent those termites from coming back in. Okay, so fortunately, you don't really have to disconnect much. There's some tension applied springs up here, and I'll be able to show you once I get it down. But it's just 2 on either side. All the electrical work is up here, so we're not touching that. These tension springs, that's what you're going to be pushing on if you need to take these down. And then what confirmed this for me as well was there are dead termites, swarmers inside of this. So let me put that down real quick. See if I can get a little focus. Yeah, you'll see like these are swarmers that shed their wings, and so this kind of confirmed my concerns. Was they're coming through. So up there, that's that vent fan that leads all the way out to the roof, and so if there's nothing stopping these termites from coming in, like from my understanding, they're literally swarmers. They go where they want to go. They're not strong flyers, but if they get any sense of light, they fly in that direction, and then they'll sometimes find their way right into these vents, fall through. Most of them get captured in here, but then they'll fall through on these big guys. So we're gonna put some mesh screens on this bit, so this will still get airflow. And the reason why I'm doing it on here directly is because then I can maintain it. I can take these off, clean them when I need to, rather than putting it onto the roof. As much as I'd like to get a 30-foot ladder and get up there, this is more manageable. Okay, so now that I got my workstation set up, we're gonna go ahead and remove these brackets. That way we can get straight to the screen. I said screen, I meant grill. Just use a little bit of pressure and wiggle this out. Actually, you probably have a different vent, so do whatever you need to on your vent. Awesome. Now before I start applying the screen to this grill, I want to just clean it. That's disgusting. I'm going to clean the other side as well. Now I'm using tin snips to cut some stainless steel mesh screens. You can get away with a heavier duty scissors. I tried it out. I wouldn't want to do it because I imagine it'll dull it. These are much more effective in my opinion, but you can probably work with what you got. I did get these off of Amazon. I just grabbed the mesh screen filter was 20 something. I'm not exactly sure how it reads. What is that? This is what it looks like. And how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to measure this out. I'm just eyeing it since it's going to be behind this grill. I'm not really worried about the aesthetics. I really just want to make sure everything gets taken care of. So we're going to cut right here. Leaving a little bit extra because I'm going to have to use some pressure. by bending this down because this has a little contour. Just leaving a little extra on the width. That way when I bend it down, it's fully covered. You know what? So here's how the tin snips go through it. Let me show you how the scissors go as well. See, it's pretty smooth. It's not as great, but get the job done. Okay, so I got my cut. Placing it in here. I'm actually gonna flip that around. I think that had a little curve to it. And we're gonna bend that down. And it's not gonna be perfect, but it'll do the job for the most part. So, all right, now that we got that bent, this is where Velcro tape is gonna come in handy. I also got this on Amazon when I ordered these screens. So there's another roll. Let me grab this behind the camera. Essentially, I'm putting down this one first, like the hooky part. I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna line it up like right here. I'm gonna be a little generous, and then on this end, you'll see how I apply it. So, and I'm just eyeing everything. I'm not being exact with my measurements. I'm gonna cut this in half because then we'll do that on the other side. Probably another reason why you want to clean this before you do this, because the adhesive may not stick otherwise. Okay, and I'm going to do that to the other side as well. And once again, this is Velcro tape. What this is going to allow me to do is each year when I want to just take down the vent again, it allows me to take this screen off and clean it a lot easier than if I were to use double-sided tape or maybe some kind of adhesive that's going to be more permanent. We're doing stainless steel because I don't know for sure, but it's my understanding that this should not rust. Especially with this being a humid climate, and then also being in a bathroom. And then this Velcro tape should be a little bit more resistant to that humidity as well. What did I do? Screen on this side. Be careful with these screens because after you cut it, there are some jagged ends on there. I've already cut myself a few times. And then let's grab whatever side this is called. Hey, what is this side of a Velcro tape called? The matted. Loop. Okay. So now I'm cutting the loop in half. The fuzzy carpet side. This Velcro tape. And this is what I do. You may find a better way to do it, but I already did one bathroom vent, so this is how I knocked it out. I guess I should mention too, you do want scissors when cutting the tape. So if you have tin snips, use the tin snips on the screen mesh, and then use the scissors when cutting out the proportions for your tape. And you also need to add some side ones on here that I skipped. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but the reason why I am putting all of this down first is because I am going to press the screen on it. If that wasn't already clear. So I'm pushing it all the way down to the bottom, making sure it covers all the grills, and I'm bending it to my will. There's going to be areas in here that potentially termites might still get through. I might reassess how I did this if that happens. But, you know, I'll get to that when I get to it. Maybe I'll even get like some kind of foam barrier to put down into that crease. Let's go ahead, cut off our next screen. Now, the smarter thing that I should have done is taken this, put it over here, and then cut it, but not a big deal. Okay, so we go right here. I gotta cut a little bit more. I have to work with. I cut too much. Okay. Okay, and now let's go ahead and cut right. Yeah, let's do it. There we go. Okay. Do I trust that service? I don't want. Well, that's perfect. Okay. Okay, pushing that in. Use the pressure to bend it. There we go. Now I'm pressing on that adhesive, making sure it sticks to this mesh screen. And I feel like that looks pretty, like it'll be pretty effective. Once more, if you can't see it, this is where I was saying termites might, like, if they get over here and they fall on this and get underneath that screen, they might come in. If that were to occur, at that point, maybe I'd get some foam or something. I'm not too worried about it right now. It seems like most of them got trapped in here and only a few came through this bit. So we'll just see how it goes. And that's actually an example of what I was talking about. This stuff is sharp, so you gotta be real careful. There we go. Okay, time to reinstall all of the hardware. Clean that first. There we go. How did that go? Oops, okay. Just wiggle it back in. And this will kind of help keep that screen down. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit. Okay, there's one. Number two. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's go back and install it. And this is what it looks like from this side. I'll show you again once it's installed on the bathroom. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall this. This is how it looks. You're not gonna be able to see any of the velcro on this end. And like I said, the airflow shouldn't be an issue. But that's why I'm also putting it on these vents. If I were to put it on the vent that leads up to the roof, like at the very top, and let's say it did clog for whatever reason, I'd have to go back up onto the roof to clean it. Whereas with this, I can just take it down and I can inspect it however often I want, really. I'll probably do it like once a year, maybe every few months, just to keep an eye on it. Let me get that camera and see if I can show you how it looks. That's the finished product. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it. There we are. Hardly noticeable. And that should at least reduce how many swarmers find their way into the house.